Right. So let's have a look at some of these questions and how can we answer them. As it says here, think about the reason you would give each time. Now, my little cheat was to identify that there are only ever two different angles, as in, well, there are 8 angles, but there are only 2 different ones. So we saw in the last video how A, C, B, and D are all identical, and E, G, F, and H are all identical. In other words, we only have a small angle and a big angle. Once we know what the small angle is, we can work out what the big angle is, because it's going to be 180 minus the small angle, and then we could work out the rest of them. In other words, the trick to, without knowing anything else about angles and parallel lines, we can very easily work out x in all of these cases. So is this a small angle or a big angle? Well, that's the big angle, that's the small angle, so it's going to be 180 minus 128. So have a think about it. What's 180 minus 128? At this point you want to be pausing the video and having a think, and the answer you should have got was 52. Next one, we see that's the big angle, and again, pause if you want to try to work this out for yourself. That is also a big angle, so it's going to be the same, 116. I'm showing you the quick way at the moment. This one, in fact, why don't you just pause the video at this point and see if you can do the rest of them yourself using the cheat. Okay, and I'm going to assume you've unpaused it and had a go. Hopefully you did. We would say that those two are big. This one, that one is smaller than that one, because you can see that's the big one. So that's going to be 103. This is smaller than that one, so and this one's the big one. Big one basically would also be larger than 90 degrees. Small is going to be less than 90 degrees. That's going to be 43. And this one, well, that's larger than 90 degrees and larger than a 90 degree and a right angle. That's the small angle. That's a large one. So this one's going to be the large angle is 180 minus 62, 118. Now, that's a quick way of just getting the answers right. But what if they asked you for something a little bit more? Well, we want to know what we would say in terms of are they corresponding, alternate, or interior. We've identified the first 3 already when we did it last lesson. These are the co-interior or just interior angles, so they add up to 180. These are corresponding angles, so they're the same, C for corresponding. These are alternate angles, so they're also the same. These ones, well, they're none of them, but what you can do if you had to explain it, we got a number of different options. You could say, well, that one and X are alternate, so they're going to be the same, and then this is 180 minus, these two added together are 180, so you can work out X that way. You could have also said that's corresponding to X. There are a number of different pathways you could choose. You could say that's corresponding to this one, right? Anyway, so you can even say that's vertically opposite. There's lots of different ways you can do it, but you would have to choose how, what way are you referring to. So 4, 5, 6 don't, 1, 2, and 3, they are just applying one of these 3 rules, whereas 4, 5, and 6 are applying more than one rule. And depending on which one you choose, if you had to explain it, you would make sure that you explain your method clearly. So this one, let's say, for example, we could say that's alternate with that. These two add up to 180. That's X as well. This one, we could say that's corresponding to that, so that's 62 degrees. These two have to add up to 180. So that's my second video. I'll do a third video on these harder questions.